The courtroom went completely silent as the video started playing. The footage was old and grainy, but what it showed said more than words ever could. Within seconds, Diddy's twin daughters, Jessie and Delilah, stood up looking disturbed. Without saying anything, they left the room. The cameras didn't follow, but reporters whispered. The girls looked pale and embarrassed. The video wasn't just graphic, it was damaging. It had a name, Freak Off. That's the phrase Jessie Ventura used to describe the darkest part of her time with Sean Diddy Combs. What started as gossip has now turned into federal evidence, official statements, and shocked faces in the courtroom. This isn't just another celebrity drama. It's a real courtroom battle full of threatening messages and shocking video. The Diddy trial is pulling back the curtain on years of silence. Even his own family couldn't watch. What you're about to hear could change how you see him forever. When the lights went dim and the prosecution asked for everyone's attention, everyone knew something serious was coming, but no one was ready for what came next. The judge allowed a video to be shown to the jury, something people had only heard whispers about but never seen in public. It was labeled Freak Off 2013. Location, Miami penthouse. Prosecutors had warned everyone about how disturbing it was. Defense lawyers did everything they could to stop it, but the judge said the jury had the right to see the truth. The courtroom was partly blacked out. All cameras were turned off. Only the jury, the lawyers, Diddy, and a few others were allowed to watch, including Diddy's family. Jessie Ventura, the main witness for the prosecution, sat quietly near the jury. She didn't move at all. Diddy, on the other hand, changed completely. The confidence he showed earlier in the trial disappeared. He slouched down a bit, kept his eyes on the screen, and clenched his hands together. Halfway through the video, his daughters Jessie and Delilah stood up. Someone in the room said one of them whispered, "No, I can't," before walking out. Their faces looked blank, but it was clear something inside had broken. Reporters outside caught them leaving with guards, refusing to talk to anyone. The full video wasn't described in public court records, but important parts were summarized. Jessie was seen in the video with a man whose identity is still unknown. Prosecutors said it looked planned and controlled. Diddy's voice was allegedly heard behind the camera, telling them what to do. Much of the video was blurred or censored, but the emotions it caused were strong. Many jurors looked disturbed. One was seen wiping tears from her eyes. Another stared straight ahead, jaw tight. This wasn't just shocking, it was proof. Proof of control. Proof of emotional power. Most of all, it was proof that Jessie wasn't lying about her experiences. The timing of the video and the way it was made matched her earlier statements. When the screen finally went black, the room stayed silent. No one whispered. No one moved. The judge finally said the court would take a 15-minute break. The moment Jessie walked up to testify, you could tell it wouldn't be easy for her or anyone. She walked calmly, visibly 8 months pregnant, took off her coat, and turned slightly to face the jury. As she spoke, she often placed a hand on her stomach. It was a small gesture, but meaningful. She wasn't just retelling trauma. She was protecting a new life while remembering a painful past. She explained when she first heard the term freak off. She said she was 21. She didn't know what it meant at first. Diddy told her it was about watching other people as a way to grow closer. What started as something romantic became something dark and controlling. He told her what to wear, what to say, and even what drugs to take. She showed texts where she asked about pills from his Louis Vuitton bag. In one message, she asked which pill. He answered, "The green one." Jessie said the freak-offs weren't random. They were carefully planned and rehearsed. The lights, the clothes, the camera setups, even the people involved. She said many of the people were escorts, and sometimes she had to find them herself because she was scared of what would happen if she refused. "I did it because I thought I loved him, because I didn't want him to get mad, because I didn't know how to say no anymore," she told the court. When asked how she felt emotionally during those years, she said she often felt worthless. "There were times I'd look in the mirror and not know who I was anymore," she said. When asked directly if she ever wanted to be part of the freak-offs, she paused. "Sometimes, yes," she said, "because it meant I got to spend time with him. But I never wanted the rest of it, the pressure, the fear." Meanwhile, Diddy was visibly falling apart. People watching him said he started writing quickly on a yellow notepad. He shook his leg under the table. At one point, he leaned over to whisper something to his lawyer while pointing at Jessie. His face had turned pale. trial. The man who was once full of charm now looked like someone facing judgment. The defense tried to say it was all consensual. They claimed Cassie liked the relationship, helped arrange people to join, and never said no. But the prosecution pushed back, asking, what happens to a woman who knows saying no could cost her everything? While the jury tried to make sense of Cassie's chilling words, Diddy's family sat frozen. His mother, Jessie Combs, held a rosary and kept her eyes closed. His sons, King and Justin, didn't look at their father. They looked straight ahead, arms crossed, only glancing at the jury from time to time. But his daughters, Jessie and Delilah, just 17 years old, were hit the hardest. Until that video, they had stayed calm. But after seeing it, something changed. Their quiet walkout said more than words. After they left, people began wondering, were there more family secrets about to surface? The prosecution hinted at that by bringing up Diddy's ex, Kim Porter. Cassie said Diddy warned her not to go public with their relationship because of his kids and because Kim would be hurt. She also claimed that Diddy's relationship with Kim and hers overlap. We weren't public for a long time, but he was still with Kim, Cassie said. We both knew. He made sure we both knew. That's when things got even darker. Cassie told the court about a time Kim confronted Diddy. A week later, Kim was in the hospital. Diddy told Cassie not to say anything, and that Kim was fine. But years later, Kim Porter's death raised more questions. She officially died from pneumonia, but some, including her ex Al B., sure father of her son Quincy, believes her death deserves another investigation. In court, prosecutors showed messages where Cassie said she feared ending up like Kim. When asked why, she said, because I knew too much, and he knew that I knew. The courtroom went quiet again as Cassie revealed even more about how the freak-offs were organized. She said it wasn't just Diddy involved. There was an entire team helping make it happen. She named people David James, Christina Courtroom, assistants, travel agents, even private security teams. They weren't just watching, she said. They were helping. One of the most shocking parts of her story came when she described how Diddy tracked her. He didn't live far. If I didn't answer, he'd send someone, sometimes a guard, sometimes Christina. If I didn't reply in an hour, someone was at my door. That claim stunned the court. It backed up what prosecutors had hinted at, that Diddy's control wasn't just emotional. It was like surveillance. Cassie said he had access to her phone, her location, and even private messages. Once, when she invited a friend over, the friend never came. He told me he warned her to stay away. I didn't ask how, Cassie said. When asked if she feared for her safety, she answered without hesitation, every day, but I feared for hers too. Cassie described the whole system Diddy allegedly built not as wild behavior, but a well-planned operation. There were fake bookings, travel schedules, even escort lists. Sometimes we'd say they were new stylists or dancers, whatever it took to get them on the plane, she said. The trips included cities like Miami, Los Angeles, New York, Ibiza. Every place had the same setup: drugs, outfits, lights, and the same scenes. The courtroom sat still as Cassie described how these events lasted between 36 and 72 hours. The longest lasted 4 whole days with no sleep, just pills, and waiting for Diddy to say they could stop. That signal almost never came early. Prosecutors said this showed how organized it all was. It wasn't just one man's actions, it was like a business built on control and exploitation. And every name Cassie mentioned added more potential witnesses. Her testimony moved from the details to the emotional side. That's when the jury really started to understand just how deep Diddy's hold on Cassie went. This wasn't just abuse, it was emotional warfare. Cassie admitted something that made the room go still. I loved him, she said softly, but the words hit hard. I loved him the way you love someone who saves you, even if they're also the one hurting you. She said that early in the relationship, Diddy could be kind, sweet, and generous. He made me feel like I was the only one who mattered. But that kindness had a cost. Everything she did, agreeing, participating, staying silent, was done to keep that affection. It was like a drug, she said. Love was the reward. Fear was the punishment. Prosecutors read text messages she sent to Diddy at the time. They sounded loving and excited. The defense said that proved she enjoyed it. But Cassie explained, I said what I needed to say to feel safe. Sometimes it wasn't about what she wanted, it was about surviving. One moment stood out. Cassie said she once tried to cancel a freak-off by writing an email. She wanted to explain her discomfort gently. Diddy replied, I know you don't want to do it. Instead of standing her ground, she took it back. "I told him I lied," she said, "because the truth would have made him angry." The jury was deeply focused. Some nodded slowly, maybe understanding the emotional conflict she described, loving someone who also hurts you. Wanting closeness, but needing safety. Her voice only broke once when asked, "Did you ever enjoy it?" Cassie replied, "Only because it meant I could be with him. I didn't enjoy what we did, but I loved him, and that made everything confusing." By then, it was clear Cassie's story wasn't just her own. It revealed something deeper. Prosecutors were just beginning to connect that to Diddy's long list of exes.